for joining us today on our book talk. You want to start?
I read Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card, which is about a world where humanity trusts children to fight their wars. Literally. The main character's name is Ender. He is 6 years old and he is being taught how to fight in a war. He gets so what they do is they put a monitor on him and they decide he's really smart, and then he gets sent into space for battle school where he learns how to fight in anti-gravity. And there, because he's humanity's last hope, they constantly isolate him from everyone else on purpose so that he becomes like a stronger leader. And eventually he gets sent to command school where he fights wars that are simulated. And as he's fighting these wars, he eventually fights the last one. And then they tell him that he's been fighting the real war all along. And I thought the book should have ended there, but then it got really weird because on Earth, his brother and sister have taken over the world, and his brother is evil, so he cannot return to Earth. So then he goes and colonizes a planet that belonged to the species that he destroyed in the war. And there he writes a book about that species because he finds a message left by them for him, which starts a religion on Earth. He then meets his brother, who is 70 years old somehow because of space, time, gravity, I don't know. And then he writes a book about his brother, which is the second installment of this religion on Earth. And then he decides that he's been a bad person overall and decides to find a new planet for the species that he destroyed.
What are some of the elements of this book that you particularly enjoyed?
It was interesting to see how these kids were very young but still acted as adults, and how much power the government had and the excuses they made.
What about some of the figurative language that the author used?
Figurative language. The author did not use very much figurative language
What do you think that is?
because it was a military book and everything was very straightforward.
Okay.
Yes.
What do you think the author's purpose in writing this book was?
To demonstrate what lengths people will go to save their race and how people will take advantage of other people if they believe that the purpose is good enough.
Would you recommend this book to me as your friend?
I would recommend this book because it was good for a very long time, and it got weird, but I think he was setting up for a sequel rather than trying to end the book, which is fine. It was a good book. Eric, what did you read?
I read a book called The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. You were not going to read that. Okay. So basically this book is about a very old fisherman named Santiago, right? He's been having very bad luck with his fishing, so one day he goes out very far into the ocean to try to catch something for real, and he finds a very big marlin. And the story is mostly about him battling with nature and the fish that he's trying to catch. But in the end, even though he catched a really, really great fish, on the way back, the sharks attack the fish and eat it. So by the time he reaches the shore, he has nothing left but bones. So, but it doesn't matter because in the end he's able to find peace knowing that he achieved something great. Like he himself knows, even though other people couldn't see what kind of a fish that he caught or he couldn't get any compensation for it.
What stood out to you from this book?
The things that really stood out to me were the beautiful language that was used in this book to portray that sort of like determination or struggle against nature and just survival out on the sea, and especially the description of the sea and the description of the fish that he considers sort of to be his friends. Sort of, it really stood out to me because as you're reading it, you can really like delve into that sort of emotion, I guess.
Would you recommend this book?
I would definitely recommend this book to you, Malvika, because I personally enjoyed it very much. I wholeheartedly agree with the life views that are expressed in this book, and I think it can quite possibly change your life.